Let me start off by saying this. The US dollar is collapsing, so it's important that we move our money right. China just made a move that will force America and the global system to shift. And that reason really matters now because the US just signed a deal to step in to print money for Japan. When that happens, assets don't crash, they reprice. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand why savers will get punished, why gold is running, why chips and memory are non-negotiable investments for us. This is not about trading. This is about survival of your money. And we're going to start with the dollar. Now, before we get into this video, man, let's like and subscribe and help me get this video to 2,000 likes, y'all. I promise y'all, there's some gems all the way through this, so you got to stick to the end because we talking gold, we talking silver, we talking chips, we just talking so much. So this is a video you truly got to lock into. Let's get to it, y'all. The US dollar lost roughly 10% of its value this year and another 3% this week alone. Look at the crash today. It's already down this year, y'all. Now, that does not mean that the dollar is dead, but it does mean the confidence in the dollar is gone. And a weaker dollar hurts the US citizens. And when confidence weakens, money doesn't panic. It effortlessly just moves around. And so it makes it real for us because we are the ones that have to use the US dollar to do what? Pay our bills. So you're working harder, you're earning not more, you're saving as much as you can, and you're still losing the war of money. And this is why America's about to print more money to help Japan. So I ain't gonna lie to y'all, the dollar is dead right now and it has to be revived because your money buys less food, it buys less housing, it buys less energy. And this is how the wealth gap is formed. Buying gold is non-negotiable right now. So GLD, GDX, gold miners, junior miners, they're essential because this is safety. This is how you hedge a losing dollar. I'll be honest with you, buying long-term calls, buying gold positions, this is like non-negotiable for us. Japan survived before, but the world borrowed cheap yen. They bought U.S. treasuries. Everybody borrowed money from Japan for like 30 years. Why? Because that's how you build wealth. You get cheap money to buy assets, and then you pay the difference. Well, this time is a little bit different because Japan is saying, we're not going back cheap. And everybody has to adjust. And it really hurts America because now everybody is selling American assets. And I know we said this before, but I'm going to dig a little deeper because Japan became the pillar of the global system. As long as rates were cheap, everybody got free money, had some ups and downs, but it was good. But now Japan is not backing off. The economy is crashing and America is the bully. And they have to step in because America crashes if Japan crashes because they're the biggest foreign holder of American debt. And so America is now saying we're going to buy the yen. And we're going to create artificial demand by printing over $20 billion in cash just to save Japan. But in saving Japan, you weaken the dollar. And that liquidity, well, it doesn't disappear. It flows. It goes to somebody. And that somebody is us. It's a harsh reality. But as American citizens, I don't think we should panic. And buying gold is not betting against America. Gold is actually giving yourself some certainty. It's insurance because central banks aren't buying gold for no reason. They're kind of expecting to collapse. So we have to too. We can't disregard what's going on. And we can't be greedy, but we got to pay attention. Because buying gold, well, it doesn't have earnings. It doesn't belong to anybody. The government can't print it, but they can print dollars against it. But the thing about America is we don't have nothing to print against the dollar. So we just print it out of thin air. And so what we have to do as American citizens is buy gold. This rally will not stop for some time. So GLD or IAU, if you want leverage, we get the miners. We go to GDX. We go for the majors. We go to GDXJ for the miners. Companies like Newmont Gold, exposure to silver, copper. These are real assets. So gold isn't fear, it's insurance. I know you heard me say it before, but sometimes I just got to say it to you 2 and 3 times so you can understand it, so you can believe it because it's real, y'all. Again, look at the collapse in the dollar. Now, Japan did this a while back with the Asian financial crisis. This is when America stepped in about 1998 and 1997 when Alan Greenspan. Well, we were there again. Now let's talk about China. Of course, they are the ones that are applying the pressure to the whole world with strategic investments and partnerships, everything to put them in position. We could talk about the rare earths that are 17 metals. We can talk about that. Yes, that's cool. But the real thing I want to talk about is silver. How China is truly isolating America, but it's squeezing the entire world because they're sitting back and looking at everybody saying, yep, this is the new world. In the new world, all this is shifting. Now think about it. Japan was the lender of the world. China became the manufacturer of the world. And America, well, we were just the bullies and the biggest consumers of the world. And we're not going to talk about Europe because they're nothing. No offense taken. But the New World Order will start with EVs, AI, data centers, defensive systems. This problem isn't just mining, it's processing. And remember, China controls that. Yes, I said it before, but I want you to dig in a little deeper this time. Think about the whole world now having to depend on China. They've really been setting this up for about 30 years. Now, sometimes the chips fall where they lay and you get a great perfect storm. This is the perfect storm. Its biggest adversary, America, has to save everybody. Why? Because you're the big dog. Silver is needed in everything we need moving forward. But guess what? China holds that down. Silver is not just something that's a safe play. It's not. No. Silver is the new oil. Trust me when I say this. Silver is, without silver, there's no AI service. There's no EV motors. There's no solar. There's no weapons. And imagine your biggest adversary, who you're trying to separate from, you got to go to them to get the silver for your guns. You got to go to them to get the silver for your military. And again, look at the spike in silver. Look at the spike in gold. So I'm telling you, this is today. So I'm telling you, we have to buy SLV. We have to buy SIVR. We have to buy SIL. We got to get in silver futures. We have to buy silver, family. Silver is leverage. I'm not trying to say this to make you panic. I'm just telling you, every time silver backs up and you hear somebody like Jim Cramer say, this is nonsense, this shouldn't be happening, I promise you, the old America that we once knew, the world is changing. And we can't do nothing to switch that. What we can do is adapt. So this is about gold. This isn't about silver. We got to talk about the reality of how us as Americans, we can't change the headlines. We can't change what's happening. We can only control what we have control of. And what we have control of is investing every dollar that we can into things that protect us. Yes, Trump them has given us, they're saying $4,000 for taxes. They're saying all of this money is going to flood into the system. But I promise you, if you go back and listen to what Jerome Powell said, he said, we see the economy getting strong, but we see the lower pockets of America feeling it hit the hardest. Well, I ask you, my friends, who is the lowest pockets of America? It's you. It's me. And no matter how much money you think that I have, I'm not in the 1%. Not in the 1% that really gets it. Not the Nancy Pelosi era. I'm not that. I'm with you. I'm walking this journey with you. I'm navigating this space just like you. And so today what I want to do is right quick, I want to highlight one of my trappers in the community. This is a trap I highlight. We had our first $100,000 play today. Our first option play that hit $100,000 a day. STX, the company is Seagate. It is soaring after I was up $22. But I want to show you what this one trapper said. This trapper said, Trap, I've been in this community for a while. Look at this, man. Almost $86,000 from being in this community, for being in the Patreon. This is not about me glorifying myself. I just want to navigate the game to take care of me and my family. And if I can help whoever come along with the journey with me, that's what I want to do. I don't want to have the title as the best trader. I want to have the title as, I'm helping people survive this financial destruction. That's what this is about, y'all. So it's about putting plays together, back to back to back to back. We made the money on the USAR. We're making the money on the STX, and there's more plays to come. So please, if you want to just navigate the system a little bit better, come join the Patreon, y'all. It's going to help you out a lot. All right, so here's what I really want to talk about right here. This is the core of what I needed to know. When we think AI is not just about chips, I'm not talking about the NVIDIAs. I'm not talking about none of those. I'm talking about where the real chokehold at. It's the memory and it's the equipment. We're talking about companies like MU, who've already come out and said, there's a limited amount of memory. We've heard Jensen Huang say, we got all the chips we need, but it's energy and it's memory and it's equipment. So like companies like MU and companies like Rambus, ticker symbol RMBS, all AI needs memory. And they need the memory more than they need the headline. They need the equipment of companies like ASML, companies like KLLC, companies like TSM. I know these two may be a little pricey, but if you can get a half a share on Robinhood, get it. You don't build AI without them. And so stop being stuck on the NVIDIAs. Every pullback in companies like this is an opportunity. Most people stop at the chips, and that's where they get this thing wrong at. So here's a clean explanation on what you need to see. The core, the real truth is this. AI doesn't run on headlines. It runs on memory, it runs on power, it runs on precision, and it runs on equipment. So if chips are the brain, memory is the oxygen, and equipment, well, that's the surgeon. No memory, no AI stalls. No equipment, chips never exist. No workaround, no shortcuts. This is it. You need memory, you need equipment before you even need a chip. And so NVIDIA and all these other companies cannot exist without this. And so what AI actually does is AI doesn't just compute one time, family. No, it doesn't. And now this is what I want to dig deep at. It pulls massive data sets, stores context, recalls information instantly, and retrains constantly. So every time you hit AI and you ask it to do something, it's pulling from things that have already put in it. And it's consistently revolving, relearning itself and redoing things. So every time it gets smarter and smarter and smarter, that's memory. That's why MU is going parabolic. That's why MU looks like it's unstoppable. So every time I'm telling you this company pulls back, we need to get in. I'm not even talking options. I'm saying just buy it. Look at it right now. After hours, for no reason, it's just out of here. So memory is the bottleneck. You can have the best chip in the world, but if you have no memory, you can't keep up. Performance collapse. And AI workloads require high bandwidth memory, ultra low latency, massive parallel access. This is why memory demand is not linear. One AI server, one memory unit. Nope. One AI server, multiples of memory capacity. This is why this is why they're so dominant right now. They supply DRAM and HBM. Memory pricing power is returning. AI flipped memory from a commodity to a strategic asset. Notice how the leaders have changed. If you look at NVIDIA, it's been in the same spot for months. But if you look at companies like MU, it's going parabolic because demand is high. The choke point is there. Memory isn't a trade. It's a capacity. It's a capacity constraint. And I want you to understand something. Equipment is even more powerful. This is where the smart money lives. This is why companies like KLSE and ASML are shooting the way they are. And so I know these prices may seem a lot, but if you on Robinhood or you want somebody that can give you fractional shares, I need you to really lock in and get a half a share, a fractional share, whatever you can, because this is what a real wealth is, y'all. You cannot scale chips without machine, and you can't replace the machines. No factories means no chips. No tools mean no factory. No competition, no pricing power. Equipment is the toll booth. So every advanced chip must pass through the same gates: inspection, measurement, yield optimization. There's only a couple companies that control these gates, y'all. So these plays really matter. And it goes from I'm trying to build wealth to I'm just trying to make sure I can stop the bleeding in my savings account, so I can stop my checking account from dying, because the more I look at it, the more purchasing power it loses. ASML owns lithograph. They own, without ASMLs, no advanced chips. Governments don't even compete with ASML. They protect it. KLSE, they inspect the chips at atomic levels. They improve the yields. As chips get smaller, KLC becomes more valuable. When complexity rises, inspections becomes mission critical. And these plays will outlast headlines. Chips can be cyclical. Memory and equipment, they're structural. Because AI adoption is irreversible, governments are funded and are funding these build-outs. Geopolitics demand domestic capacity, and factories take years, not months. You can pause software spending, but you cannot pause infrastructure once it starts. This isn't about chasing the next AI headline. It's about owning every future headline that depends on the chip. Memory keeps AI alive. Equipment, that's what makes it possible. I just want y'all to take this serious. I don't want you to look at the stock market. I don't want you to look at these headlines as just something that's about to happen or an easy way to make money. I want you to look at it from this point on as financial survival. It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper, man. If you found value in this video, man, like it, subscribe it, share it with somebody. This is a financial state of emergency. Salute.